doesn't it?
But I would imagine for both of you, there's kind of a tricky balance between needing to lead with actual empathy, and enter that room with your people with empathy, and also like boundaries that are fucking waterproof, because otherwise, like I'm going to tell you something you don't know.
Tell me.
I'm not particularly good at boundaries.
Not many people are.
So if I was doing what you guys do, at my current level of expertise with boundaries, I would be a wreck. I would not be able to laugh at home unless it was the laughter of purging the heaviness that I came home with.
Yeah, you dig real deep and you find your inner asshole. That's how you do it.
Really?
That is what I tell every single one of my supervisees. Like, that's a put on your inner asshole hat kind of a day. And what I mean by that isn't actually that you should be an asshole, but what I mean by that is, like, you have to regulate how much you are choosing to invest yourself versus how much you're choosing to facilitate. And I think that as therapists, hopefully as humans, we need to show up as ourselves. We have to try our best to ground ourselves and then to step into that space where we are facilitating a healing space. But if we show up in that space and we care about how the person responds to that healing space, it's going to start getting really tricky emotionally. If you step into the space and say, I'm going to facilitate a healing space and I'm going to dig deep and find my inner asshole, I'm going to ground, literally. Right? You got to go deep. You got to ground. And you've got to recognize that, like, my care or my focus can't be on that person feeling better by the end of our time together. I have to know that I'm showing up to facilitate the space and to be okay with that person leaving in a place where they're still hurting. And if you can be an asshole in session in that way, you're going to find that you have the stamina to walk with someone long-term through what can oftentimes be really, really devastated, grief-stricken stories. But if you step into that space hoping that they feel better each time, it's going to be exhausting. Like, you won't find the stamina. So that's my inner asshole soapbox lecture.
Well, that must be my experience with therapists is that they must all know that trick, because every single time I've been to a therapist, eventually, if not initially, I ask, how are you doing back-to-back sessions? How do you not need 90 minutes to get over the 60? Because I just passed a person walking out of your office and you're asking me to come in. You didn't even, maybe you took a breath.
Yeah.
Before someone else with a big problem entered your space.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think that there are clinical tools for sure to address some of that. Like, I physically leave my office after every session. It's in some ways like a closing ritual for me, where whatever happened is what that person needed to have happened in that session, but I leave the space, I close the space, and then I re-enter usually after, like, filling my water cup or going to the bathroom, and I re-enter it. Like, now I prepare this space, which also means I prepare me for this next person.